Welcome back to Turnabout in the Lighthouse of Lunacy Act 2, and hopefully we can get Act 2 finished today, because we spent a while on this one, and we've got to the point where if I create a new save file now, it just doesn't work because the URL is too big. But I had a save just before the last save I made, so it only took me like 2 seconds. Anyway, that's enough of that, witness. Am I allowed to go? Not yet. There's one thing I'd like. I just got one more thing I'd like an explanation for this. Your testimony contains this very uncanny detail about the victim having a bullet wound.
Objection.
The victim did have a bullet wound, especially you should know all about it. Oh, absolutely. It's all in the autopsy. The point is that this witness was able to tell that from a glance. If you kindly take a look at the attached photo of the body. You'll notice that no bullet wound is readily visible. I don't think he actually saw any wound at all. I think he's lying about even seeing it. I think he was up to something that caused him to not be looking at what was going on too closely. That's my prediction. The victim was found lying face down. Her chest was completely obscured. So, care to explain how you were able to see that bullet wound, Mr. Poley? No, maybe except... The witness is clearly distraught and confused. This is entirely your fault for applying pressure to him. It's his fault for lying in court? I mean, I guess an ace attorney will lying in court is mandatory, but you know. Anyone with a brain can tell that he simply misremembered. On the contrary, the fact that he was distraught should have made it easier to remember. The witness was very clear about how much the scene shocked him. There is no way he would have been shocked by something he didn't even see. Unless he was lying about seeing it.
But what is the meaning of this? Then why did the witness say he saw the wound? Damn, now you've done it, Myrtle. You've given the miss something she can spin into a yarn. She's going to say you're the real perp. This is going to be good.
She's going to... What? There is no argument here, Aurelia. The witness misremembered. It's the only explanation a sensible observer can arrive at. Your imagination is quite lacking as usual. I'll give you a better explanation. The witness didn't simply misremember this detail. He very much got it wrong for another reason.
What could the reason be, Miss Chase?
I'm really not the culprit, I swear. It's the simplest of explanations. So we got he guessed wrong. That's what I think it is. He mixed up 2 similar events. No, I don't think so. I mean, that's been a contradiction in fan cases before, but I don't think this one. And he's the real culprit, which we can't even prove that even if we were going to say that. So he guessed wrong. Recall that up until this point in the trial, the picture of the body hadn't come up. Nor had anybody mentioned or implied that the wound on the body was visible. This forced the witness to take a guess. Unfortunately, he guessed poorly.
Wait just a second, Miss Chase. Why would the witness have to guess? He was testifying about what he saw. Why, that'd be implying he didn't witness anything at all.
Which is absurdly nonsensical. He would have simply not come forward as a witness in that case. Recall that this witness has been very hesitant to testify. Only under pressure did he actually commit to this detail. There is only one plausible explanation for this behaviour. The next words are probably going to send the courtroom into mayhem. What is this feeling of excitement? Mr. Poley didn't witness anything, but wanted to appear as if he did. Or more succinctly, witness. Your testimony is completely made up. No, that's not. No, you got it all wrong. Miss Preston was right. I misremembered. I just. No. As I just explained, that's very hard to believe. I knew he was making us, and I attempted to take advantage of his stupidity. Oh, it takes but moderate intelligence to perceive all the problems with this. Why would this idiot pretend to be a witness in the first place? Don't even try to argue that he is part of a fantastic plot to frame you. There are enough other witnesses. He has no rational reason to commit perjury. True, his testimony barely matters for my case. However, it may very well matter a lot to him. It gives him an alibi.
What would the witness need an alibi for?
If his testimony was made up, then he did not actually follow the others to the scene. Which begs the question, what in the world was he doing? He'd apparently rather commit perjury than admit to it. Chances are good it was something pretty illegal.
You spun that one well, miss. I don't think my dear Mono would vanish while we're heading into danger, but if he really wasn't following us, I'd certainly have some questions.
Listen, no, please. Nothing like that happened. Something pretty illegal? Your vague accusations aren't even worth responding to. I can get more specific if you want.
By all means, Miss Chase. However, do note that this court expects evidence for any accusations.
Right. Only so many things make sense in this case. Might want to take a gamble with the evidence. The witness likely didn't follow you, so he'd have the chance to commit this crime. Ooh, I mean, while it's funny, should I just say jaywalking for the lols? And I guess I was guessed before that it was burglary. I guess before this he was trying to steal something. There's only one penalty. The all-time classic, jaywalking. Seriously?
Miss Preston?
Do not honestly require me to honor this with any more words. In case you missed it, we're currently trapped inside a tower. So, you don't require me to point out that there are no roads here, surely? I was willing to grant that your IQ was only low in relation to mine, but this is alarming.
Miss Chase, I'm not sure you're using your remaining time to simply mock the courts.
I am dead serious. The witness jaywalked. How did I get here?
Okay, you are not confident. Please provide evidence that shows jaywalking was even possible in this building.
The tower diagram? I'm just gonna say a reasonable person may think that there could be no roads in this tower. However, you fail to consider one important fact. Cranes exist.
Cranes, you say, but how does that relate to...
You put a crane next to this building. You lift up a piece of the rope with the crane. This is the answer to the mystery of the missing road.
Oh, how did you get the road inside? The windows could not be opened from what I saw.
This so-called theory became absurd centuries before that part. I am feeling physical pain listening to these ideas. Please end the trial. I do not want my intellect to be sullied any further. I am definitely going to get the penalty here. But at least I inflicted damage to Victoria as well. Almost worth it.
The court will not tolerate much more of this, Miss Chase.
Let's just forget about that. I have a real serious suggestion.
By all means, Miss Chase.
So I'm going to say burglary. Good old-fashioned breaking and entering. The sense of humour is perplexing if you think you can just sort of random crimes out there. Naturally, you have zero evidence this witness broke into some place he wasn't supposed to be. And what if I did? Good luck with that. Even this witness would be stupid enough to simply leave his calling card somewhere.
Well, Miss Chase, do you have anything that may connect this witness to an off-limits place?
So his name, Monopoly. I see. So the DW, if you turn that upside down, the D is a capital P and the W is capital M. So it's his initials. You dropped this, Mr. Poland. Wait, why do you... No, this isn't mine. You should have probably gotten this case refunded, to be fair. Whoever attached your initials didn't consider the upright orientation.
DW, these aren't Mr. Poland's initials.
Obviously. Take note there's a lowercase letter, which makes no sense. Try saying what you can.
I can't believe it was Manfred Don Warmer the whole time.
Try seeing what you get if you turn them upside down.
Upside down? Oh, MP, you don't mean to suggest the owner of the suitcase was a member of parliament?
No, he's monopoly, actually. This suitcase was, interestingly enough, found in a room that guests are not supposed to enter. The entrance to said room also happens to be on the way to the crime scene. Quite a convenient placement if you want to take a little detour. That is your name on this suitcase, Mr. Monopoly. It's a fallacy. Only his initials are on there, not his name. He's not the only person in the world with those. The rest of the world isn't relevant though. In case you forgot, access to this building is extremely restricted. So the real question is, how many people in here have those initials? Well, dear guests, speak up if you're a match. Your attempt to make a point for the mob is laughable. No rational person will come forward if doing so would implicate them for trespassing, or worse. And if that wasn't enough, what makes you so sure the suitcase was placed there today? All we are aware of, it might have been in that room for ages. There's a very simple way to verify this. We only have to consult this to know who has the same initials and when the suitcase was brought in. Not this. Not that. A head count is performed each time. 67 people are present. Did the guard have a record of everyone? I'm just gonna say guard. This will answer all your questions. As always, your idea of reasoning baffles mine. What can I say? I aim to impress.
Tell us anything about those 2 points, Miss Chase.
The most baffling aspect is this trial still isn't over. Oh, I'm far from done, trust me. Is it Holden? No. Is it just diagram then? Because it says that there's a head count. That's it. The security at this building has been pretty tight for a while. You may have noticed that the guard... Oh, come on. You could have let me present the guard as well. Jeez. You may have noticed that a guard asked for your ID at the entrance. I happen to know that this guard kept an extensive list of the names of all visitors, and also knows what possessions they brought with them, especially if they triggered the metal detector. The suitcase is pretty large and may have a metal frame, so there's a good chance it got noted down. You don't seriously think that you can just call the guard to stand for this? Huh? That shouldn't be necessary. You specifically told him to compile that list for you, did he not? How about you just take a look at your own evidence, Victoria? This blameless guard, I'm surprised he was incapable of keeping his mouth shut.
Miss Preston, it sounds like you have the means to answer your own question. Please share with the court anything relevant to the question at hand. This sentence hasn't ended, so I guess I can say whatever I want. Get out there and vote. Yeah. I really like turkey sandwiches. Yeah. Well, I'll just end the sentence here because this is dragging on too long.
My, you should have known better, Aurelia. Never ask questions you don't know the answer to. Skip the lecture and tell us. There are indeed no other guests with the same initials as Monopoly present today. Alas, no items are listed next to his name. Come on, you have one job. This doesn't mean he didn't bring it. Considering the auction, there are probably a lot of guests that brought empty suitcases. So, the guard just didn't consider it notable enough to write it down. Certainly possible, but you cannot prove it. Which means we can move on from this asinine accusation. Ooh. He literally admitted that it was his suitcase before correcting himself. Did no one hear him or something? It's the end of the road. I know that is his suitcase. Damn it. Is he wearing gloves or would there be fingerprints on it?
It's not a plausible, but it seems the defendant's argument fell short.
What are you all on about? This is obviously the lad's suitcase. I've made fun of it just this morning.
Don't speak without permission, witness. Too late. Please, go on.
I reckon those botched initials. I'd reckon those botched initials anywhere. What a hilarious hack job. Why are you acting like this isn't yours, lad?
Wait, no, I mean, there's no way my suitcase would be in that room, right? It just, it has to be one that looks exactly the same.
Hogwash! What are the odds of that?
That would require someone to not only have the same initials, but also for the manufacturer to make the same exact mistake on those two cases. The chances of that happening should be extremely negligible. Seems like my accusation is back on the table. But...
Mono, friend, chum, what's all this? It almost sounds like you're sneaking off into places you're not allowed to be. On my property, of all places. You wouldn't double-cross me like that. And yet, that's your suitcase from earlier.
No, this is all wrong, sir. It's all her fault. That evil murderer set me up. It's a conspiracy. I was right there with you the whole time. Your Honor, but please let me correct my testimony. I'm not sure that'll be... But please...
Alright, if it's that important to you.
How did this guy go from not wanting to testify to pleading like his life depended on it? It's still the same until we got to the door. The gunshot and everything. Can you give me a quick rundown again? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Mr. Polar? Oh, what? You meant me? You're the one giving testimony. Who else would I mean? I thought somebody else might be willing to... I'm still waiting for your answer, Mr. Polar. Sorry. We talked and heard a gunshot. Then we rushed to the door. That's when we heard you say, "Serves you right, old crow." After that, we started trying to get in the room. Thanks, that wasn't so hard, was it? He's talking about something he heard. So, you know, he could hear that from anywhere. Isn't this badgering?
Defense, that's a simple question. That's the point of a cross-examination.
Like it or not, you're not getting out of this testimony. I was right behind the others when I went inside. Don't listen to that villain. Isn't it very striking how nobody can back you up on that? But nobody can say the opposite either. None of them said that I was actually gone. Because I wasn't. obviously. It wasn't exactly a situation where they'd think to stop and check. My point is that the opportunity to slip away was there. You slipped into the display room and the suitcase backs me up on that. No. The suitcase was all part of you pitting the blame on me. My suitcase in that room proves nothing. She must have stolen it or told someone to steal it. Sure, let's examine this. When did you last see your suitcase? During the auction, I placed it in the wall, close to the spot where we were talking later. That was already pretty close to the hallway. People would have noticed someone standing up during the auction. So, it couldn't have been stolen then. You were watching the hallway during the break, so that's out as well. Afterwards, I got arrested and only ever got to walk around under supervision by a guard. There was literally no point in time I could have moved that suitcase. No, then the woman who brought you the evidence at the start of the trial. While she collected that evidence, you must have told her to move the suitcase. I guess it's hard to disprove, but how would I have even known you'd be called as a witness? Me being in this whole situation doesn't exactly suggest I'm some kind of calculating mastermind. You're simply hiding your true colours, the same thing Miss Preston was doing earlier. She really wasn't. But it won't work on us. We've already heard the real you, when you thought nobody was listening. Remember her final words before she shot the victim? She's ruthless enough to set me up. Her ruthless final words? She called her an old crow. It's not particularly insulting. If she called her a fat cunt, then maybe. But an old crow is just, kind of tame for final words, honestly. I didn't say that. We're not talking about that right now. Maybe we should be talking about it, though. You've been trying to question me to distract from the proof against you. Everyone witnessed the exact same thing. Doing this won't change anything. I'll get to the others later. Let's stay focused on you. No. We should stay focused on you.
Serves you right, old crow.
Remarkably accurate. I feel like I'm being made fun of with that impression. That's what you said before you finished her off. You sound like a cold-blooded assassin giving her struggling target one final taunt. Then why did you do an impression of me sounding like a dying chicken being strangled by a dying cat that's being drowned in a vat of acid? Everyone heard this. It's time we started questioning your words instead of mine. How was he suddenly so aggressive? Maybe I cornered him too much. Thanks for your clarification. Now let's go over what you saw again. It was a very shocking view. I definitely remember it now. At this point, you'd have picked up on all the details by following the trial. Meaning, there's no way for us to verify whether you actually saw any of it anymore. Unless you can bring up any detail that nobody thought to mention so far. I can't think of anything if you ask me like that. You can't throw out my testimony for one single mistake. But it does throw your credibility into question. Come on. The victim was lying face down. I didn't... wait. Why would you say that when you saw the picture yourself? You actual idiot. But I'm going to press it anyway. Then explain why you saw a wound that you clearly could not have seen. You mentioned the wound, so my mind must have added it to my memory subconsciously. Is that how it works? Everyone makes mistakes, Aurelian. At least if you do not consider my humble self. If you had read Tractus Logico Philosophicus, you would know how such miscommunications happen. Yes, I just got things mixed up a bit. I don't know what you were talking about, though. But the photo jogged my memory. It's exactly what she looked like at the time. Right, of course. The photo doesn't really scream shocking view in quite the same way to me. Within the context, it was still very shocking. He was standing over her with a gun. How about we let you explain that instead of questioning me? That's not the focus of this cross-examination right now. Please, I'm trying to use you as a distraction here. Miss Holden told us to leave, and so I did. You did absolutely nothing else before she arrived. There was no need to. Mr. Nond and Mr. Dow were already handling the situation. I didn't want to disturb anything. Fair enough. What did Miss Holden do exactly when she got there, then? She looked over her dead mother's body. And do you think she disturbed it? You must have had a pretty good view. No, maybe. No, I don't think so. She told us to leave after a while. I took that chance to run back to the main hall and tried to forget what I saw. He still intends to insist on his testimony, but you can feel the desperation. One more discrepancy and he'll lose his remaining credibility. If he really wasn't present at the scene, then there's a good chance he'll mix something up again. Though what I really need right now, though what I really need right isn't another obvious lie. I think it's supposed to say right now. I need something I can use to undermine the case against me. I wonder if there's really anything I can point out here with just one piece of evidence? Perhaps I should consider presenting multiple pieces of evidence at once? A super present, so to speak? Now wouldn't that be something? How about no, Blackrune? No, on second thought, this is not the time for taking absurd risks. My plan's still the same. Press for clarification while being on the lookout for anything off. There's a borderline meme at this point, super objections. The victim was lying face down. I didn't mean to imply I really saw the wound. You didn't, did you? Wait, what? That's not face down. That's face side. Right? Hold on. Gunshot wound descent to a chest, horizontal angle of entry. Bullet damage left lung and heart, causing fatal damage to the latter. Small cut on tip of right index finger. Bullet lodged in subject's heart was retrieved. Rifling marks result. It doesn't say anything about. It doesn't say anything about the head being turned though. So we have to assume that this is the position the body was in when they discovered the body. So how is that not the correct answer? Because that is very much not a face down. Like if you saw that, you're not going to describe that as face down. Unless you weren't there and you're just lying onto something. There's a contradiction in the statement.
What gave you that idea, defendant?
The fact that he said that the body was face down. I'm afraid I'm a stupid little idiot. Such an abominable argument could only be conceived by a mind of your level.
Well, I won't make such presumptions, but no matter where this brilliant information came from, you presented it to this court at the wrong time.
Back to the drawing board it is. There's something I'm missing. I think the machines will be useful. puzzle? I thought for sure that would be the right answer because it seems like such a perfect contradiction because we're trying to prove that he wasn't there, and if he saw this and said it was face down, that clearly proves that he wasn't there. Right? Am I the one going insane here? It's the same until we got to the door. The gunshot and everything. I don't think there should be a contradiction there. It was only fired once during the crime. I was right behind the others when they went inside. Oh, that's not anything. Are we talking about this room? Does he wear gloves? Is there any time where he gets his hands up? Anything? I could present the hunt devices maybe. Because the hunt device is used to, you know, grab fingerprints or something. Well, I don't know if he's wearing gloves or not. If he's not wearing gloves, I could use the hunt devices. I don't think it's anything there then, because there's a tuning fork in that room, but what does that prove? And she's ruthless enough to set me up. It was a very shocking view, I don't remember now. What did you say when I pressed that? Oh, I'm not using super objections. Fuck off. Can't be the autopsy. If it can't be the autopsy, then it can't really be a contradiction here, can it? I think it has to be something to do with the suitcase. The final words I can't really do anything with because I can't prove either way whether it's an old crow or not. Serves you right. I'm assuming, I don't know, something on the TV, I don't know. Right, I think I'm gonna have to pause this here again. Have a little think. Might use the guide. Because I'm very close to dying and I'd have to replay this whole section and that'd be a bit annoying. So I think I'm gonna just have a little think and I'll get back to you in a sec. So the guide actually has a hint section. So I haven't looked at the solution yet, but the clues were that something about his timeline is off and something about the order of events. And the one thing that I've managed to think of from those clues is, remember her final words before she shot the victim? But he says that after the gunshot, so this is the point where it's unclear. So I'm assuming, and I've got 1 life bar left because I tried one thing and I was present in the suitcase in between these recordings. So this will be my final guess, and if this is wrong, I'm gonna have to go back and replay this whole thing, which I won't be happy about, but fingers crossed, because it says 1 bullet is missing, a second was discharged for forensic purposes. Now, he's thinking she was shot twice. He's getting confused some hours. So that's right. There's a clear discrepancy here. Still, I think I need to add another piece of evidence related to it in order to really drive the point home. We're gonna copy. Well, I've been sent the autopsy on the same actually. And of course the autopsy report, which, you know, already shot once, but it could be something else. I'll just try the autopsy. Actually, let's talk about what I allegedly said for a bit. You clarified that I said those words to the victim before I shot her. Does that sound right to you, witness? I don't know what you're trying to do, but yes. Very good. And that would obviously have to have been done with my gun, right? The autopsy is quite clear. There are no other fatal wounds or anything. Yes, I heard it loud and clear. I was right in front of the room after all. Excellent. Now for the final question. In your recap, you mentioned that you first heard the gunshot and then heard me say those words. After all, the gunshot was the reason you ran up to the door in the first place. So, how many gunshots did you hear again? Now, this is an interesting contradiction. But I feel like, you know, because when you think face down, you think your face is literally down on, like, facing the floor. But in the picture, it wasn't. Now, if that was moved and I can't remember that, you know, that should be something that's mentioned in the autopsy, I think. And it doesn't say it here, does it? It doesn't say either way whether it was face down or not. It doesn't say that the body was really moved before they took that photo. So I think they should change the phrasing of Mono's testimony. So, how many gunshots did you hear again? What? 1? Nice try, but too late. Your testimony only makes sense if you heard 2 gunshots. 1 before you heard my voice, and 1 afterwards. This witness is evidently too confused to give logical testimony. Strike all of it from the record. This witness has just told us something extremely important. Don't you think a second gunshot might be very relevant to my case? There's no way for me to have fired both shots, or 2 bullets would have been missing. I technically could have brought an extra bullet, but then you'd have found 2 spent cases. In other words, this proves that someone other than me might have been involved. Do I even have to engage with this brain-dead argument? There are a trillion reasons why a second gunshot is impossible. Even if we grant you that it happened, there's no way for it to be relevant. The victim died in the locked room. The only other person inside was you. Any notion of a second shot is just inevitably irrelevant. It's still only you that could have fired the deadly shot. Not so fast there, logician. Recall my previous theory that someone shot into the room and threw the gun inside? I wish I didn't. I thought we'd gotten past that low effort theory. The key reason that theory no longer worked was because 3 witnesses were watching the door when the shot happened. But the second shot happened after they'd left their spot. So the theory is on the table again. This is getting ridiculous. Are you not even capable of remembering the timeline? The witnesses were still watching the door because they walked right up to it. Quite correct. The witnesses were at the door. Which makes my theory of someone walking up to the door possible again. Gotta take those chances while the iron is hot, as they say. You can't mean to say...
What is this madness? We caught you, now you want to pin this on us? The audacity!
All I'm saying is that it's possible at least 2 of you colluded. Let's see, theory will go something like this. Step 1, steal my gun during the auction. Step 2, you rush up to the door after hearing the first gunshot. Step 3, you break open the door and shoot the victim, then throw the gun in my hands. And you would have gotten away with it if Mr. Poley didn't retrieve it didn't reveal that the second gunshot happened. I understand, Aurelia, I truly do. A moment ago I may have gotten a glimpse at the absurdity of the world Jean-Paul Sartre tried to reason with. Fortunately, it all became logical again once I reminded myself of your situation. It would be quite apt to liken you of this moment to a cornered animal. Naturally, you would not be above considering such a desultory arguments in your death throes. There has to be some explanation as to why this witness had a second shot. It's one thing if he couldn't see something, like in the wounds case. He had to guess there. You don't just make up a second gunshot out of nowhere. You're notably trusting of a witness you would try to discredit 2 minutes ago. As always, however, your argument is of no consequence. If you explain something by creating 2 new monumental paradoxes, then you didn't explain anything at all. It is these paradoxes that I, Victoria Princeton, will now allow myself to elucidate to you.
I already have some ideas myself. Go ahead, Miss Princeton.
The first paradox is this gun. You want to suggest that it may have been stolen from you before you entered the room. If this was the case, then the first shot would become impossible. I can imagine your pathetic counter-argument to this, so let me address that immediately as well. Maybe it wasn't the only gun. What if the victim brought a gun to the room? Naturally, you'll then propose some atrocious excuse for how your gun returned to you. Well, what if the second gunshot wasn't a TV? It doesn't work properly anymore and displays merely a blue screen when switched on, but maybe that's just like disguise or something? Maybe there's a way to play a gunshot off that thing. I'm thinking of what is it? Turnabout. It's Turnabout Reminiscence, isn't it? Yeah, it's Turnabout Reminiscence when that happens in Ace 10 Investigations. Naturally, you'll then propose some atrocious excuse for how your gun returned to you. Something like Mr. Nellen being able to swap the guns while checking yours? Somehow. This is nonsensical for the simple reason that no additional bullet was found anywhere. It's a trivial matter for the detective to scan a full room for anything metallic. Even if you argue the victim brought a blank bullet for some irrational reason, the ejected bullet casing would have been found. The only one who might have been able to hide it would have been you. But then you'll be complicit in the plot to frame yourself. We can grant it you all of that, stupid. Well, since you got searched, even that would not have worked. And that's when we hit a conundrum. It will become categorically impossible for the first shot even occurred. The only way it could have happened is if it was the shot that killed the victim. You stop being suddenly competent when it's really inconvenient?
A remarkable argument. There's also the lack of evidence to consider, of course. I've seen this kind of bluffing before, and I'm not sure how fond I am of it.
Taking a leaf out your brother's book then.
Do you have a rebuttal, Mrs. Chase? I'm going to kill you if you get this wrong. You see that? That's not just a penalty, but that's your life. I will throw you out of this tower, and you will die if you get this wrong.
This isn't enough to take me down, Your Honor. Alright, calm down and take this slowly. One step at a time. What I need to do is counter this. What I need to counter this is a way to have the first gunshot be heard without using a gun, or some means to fake the gunshot to put it more simply. Is there anything in my evidence that could possibly be used for that? I'll have to make this happen somehow. Well, it may seem like my gun must have been responsible for the first gunshot. It's still possible this was used to create a gunshot instead. This isn't an issue at all. Take a look at this.
I haven't seen one of those in a while. That really takes me back. Well, what does that have to do with this?
Should be self-explanatory now. TVs are able to play sound. The image on this one is broken, but it's possible the speakers still work. Crank up the volume and play a recording of a gunshot. You can't deny it's possible. Oh, I predicted you would try this TV argument. This is the most worthless thing you could have said. Tell me, how would anyone have operated this TV without being in the room? The TV was found turned off. It's not like they simply left it running the entire time. Does it not have a remote? I don't know how... When were TV remotes invented, actually? And it can't be one of those, like... What are they called? Because, like, like, a lot of remotes will use, like, infrared, to, communicate between it and the TV. So you have to have it facing the TV. But, you know, there are some remotes that wouldn't, but I doubt they'd be for an old TV like this, to be fair. But, you know, someone could have set up some trickery, who knows. They've been way too conspicuous to try and turn it off after breaking into the room. Oh, so she's straight up said that. Remote control. Come now, you never used a TV before? No remote was found in the room, which supports someone taking it. I think I told you that I knew exactly what you're going to say, and it's a futile effort, because it is impossible to use a remote control in this building. I don't follow. Wait. I think I do follow. Electromagnetic interference prevents all wireless communication. Yeah. Disappointing already. Your desperation has rendered your logic even more useless than usual. I even gave you a little hint just now. You should be able to deduce this much with this method. Why is it impossible to use a remote control here? Well, I don't like to do your work for you, but I also like to point out contradictions, so... The jamming device. What if they jammed the jamming device? I didn't think of that one. So you were able to notice after all. Indeed, a jamming device is preventing all electromagnetic communication on this floor. Consequently, all remote controls will be completely useless. Damn. Of all the things to interfere with my argument.
I'm not that well versed in this technology, but it sounds like the defendant's argument fell apart yet again. You took us for a wild ride there, miss. Shame that's the end of the line.
Back in my days, we didn't need to rely on any of this electro-foolery.
Hold up. Please repeat what you said just right now.
Huh?
No, obviously not that. So, Dart, what did you say just now?
I'm just telling it like it is. Back then, the remotes were more robust. Some used invisible light.
Imagine that. Infrared. That's what I was talking about, but... Hold on. Depending on where the TV was facing. And actually, like... I don't know how because... Most of the TV remotes I use still have infrared light. And in fact, the TV I have right in front of me does actually use an infrared remote. And fun fact, you can actually see an infrared remote if you get a camera, just like your phone's camera, and you press like a button while the remote's on. You'll be able to see. It sort of looks like a violetish sort of light. But so when the door opened, when it was broken open, there'd be an opportunity to quickly turn off the TV using the remote, and any one of them could have done it really. And before it opened, you know, maybe through the vents? I'm not sure. That's just infrared, which is technically also on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Ah yes, the good old days. I believe there were also some that required no batteries at all. They were using sound you couldn't hear with your ears, I believe.
At least one person here understands.
Oh, so a jamming signal wouldn't just block, like, it would block the infrared as well. That's interesting. But these remotes that don't need batteries to create special sounds, this TV could be using one of those remotes, yeah. And sounds people can't hear.
At least one person here understands. They keep relying on all this new tech, but look where that got. One jammer and suddenly nothing works anymore. Where are your all-powerful cell phones now?
Let's not lose ourselves in the nostalgia. Well, it's good you spoke up, because you reminded me of something important. This TV is obviously a pretty old one. It's entirely possible the remote for it is one of the types you just mentioned. As far as I will allow your baseless speculation on this remote to go. Present this remote right now if you want to prove this TV's just saying. Awkward, I got no proof whatsoever. I've sort of gotten used to it by now though. Seems like I've got two options here. Present the remote, or prove that the TV responds to an older kind of remote. Since I haven't seen any remote control, I've got to go with the second option. The issue with infrared remotes is that they work just like visible light. They won't pass through walls. Yeah. So you have to have, so say I want to turn on the TV that's right in front of me. I pull my remote and press the on button. It has to be facing the TV. I can't just hold the remote down by my side or face it in a different direction, because the thing on the front responds to the thing on the front of the TV. The judge mentioned this other type of remote though. I think they were using ultrasonic frequencies the TV could pick up on. If I could reproduce the right frequency, I might be able to prove this without the remote. I see. So someone went into the other room and used that tuning fork to create the frequency, and it passed through the vent system, and that's how the TV was able to turn on now. It's time for another terrible gamble. What else is new? I am ready to demonstrate to you that this TV does, in fact, respond to sound waves. But this, worth a shot. That thing might have been lying there for a reason. My point will be proven that this tuning fork causes any reaction with the TV.
What even is that?
My god, she's jacking this out.
This trial is turning into a joke.
Order! I hope you know what you're doing, I really do. Since this should only take a minute, it would be unreasonable to deny your request.
Take care of this in a timely manner, if you simply cannot help yourself. Agreeable, Victoria? That's about open. Alright, here goes nothing. Please wait. Nothing. Your hypothesis has been falsified. Another example of why you shouldn't jump to conclusions without data. Move back to the courtroom. But please wait. I can't return without any results. That'd be my end. There has to be something I can still try. What could make a difference here? Turn the TV on and off again. Turn the TV on and try again. Smack the TV with the fork. Doubt is that option. Now, if we turn the TV on and off again, well, the tuning fork is supposed to be able to turn it on. So if we just turned it on, that wouldn't prove anything. So I think it has to be this. Can we try turning it on and off again? Oh, I'm glad you know basic IT troubleshooting. It's not effective if you apply it in reverse. Well, with such an old device, it's doubtful it would help at all either way. You never know before you try. I've seen electronics behave in weirder ways. And now for the test. I told you.
That's enough! That was good God, that transition was fast. This course sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This is a clear-cut case with little reason for doubt. Further deliberation will not be required here. This court finds the defendant is already a chase.
Maybe he really was smacking with the fork.
Defendant will be held liable for the amount requested by the plaintiff. Suitable criminal charges will be recommended to the prosecutor's office. That is all. The court is adjourned.
The lies of the witness were laid bare. The proof was, unfortunately, lacking. Even fragile possibilities retain their power if they go unchallenged. The fate that awaits now is that of the devil. Dark shackles of the past are starting to sabotage your efforts. Do not let them hold you back until it's too late to change course. Oh, am I gonna have to go back to Monoman's testimony? Monopoly Man's testimony. We've got like a few minutes left in this video. I really do want to get back to that point, so I'll just pause it and we'll come back to it. Give it a few minutes. Apparently you have to hit something with the tuning fork to get it to work, and it makes a sound frequency based off a specific surface. So if you smack the TV with the fork, respond to this, stupid TV. Clary, what in the world do you think you're doing? I'm fixing it. That's how you did it back in the day, no? Unbelievable. Out of all your options, you chose the objectively worst course of action. Oh, never mind. It'd be advisable to kill off the others starting to lose their patience. No, one more try, please. You might do something that only works with the TV turned on. I suppose it's time to try that. But I suppose there could be a way to get the TV to turn off, and that's it. Oh, here goes nothing. Wait a minute, did it just turn back off? So this TV received sonic input. Jackpot.
You are done verifying your theory, Miss Chase.
I am. I'm sure you will find the results very striking. Turns out the frequency this tuning fork produces is capable for turning the TV off. If there is a frequency for that, there's bound to be one to turn it on, and for other functions.
Unbelievable. It is absolutely possible that someone might have...
Absolutely. It should be possible to control the TV from outside the room. To play a recording of a gunshot, for example? Wonderful. I can tell you are very proud of yourself. It is regrettable that I need to remind you of the futility of the struggle. Make it stop. Anyone, get me out of here. I should have managed to notice the TV's extremely outdated model. Indeed. It barely has any of the features that most of us would be used to. Like a recording function, for instance. You could have just left with that. I admit to going easy on you, to grant you a little moment. But my victory is certainty. Seeing you try to win pointless battles is my only remaining source of mild entertainment. She's mad. She's definitely mad.
The TV doesn't have any way to play recordings.
Precisely. Did you think I wouldn't have already ascertained this? There's no built-in way to record anything, nor is any video player attached to the device.
That means the TV would be completely useless. There's no way to play a gunshot with it. I'm afraid Miss Preston was right. The defendant was going to lose this argument from the start.
As anyone with passable intelligence should be able to observe.
Well established, we have no choice but to move on from the theory.
So, if it can't play recordings, can't it just have used live TV? Although, electromagnetic interference prevents all wireless communication. So it couldn't be like satellite TV or anything like that.
We're now established, we have no choice but to move on from this theory. The gunshot was clearly a real gunshot. There's no way around it. Still!
I disagree. My argument is not finished yet, Your Honour. I won't recover if I get set back here. No choice but to keep pushing. I refuse to concede till I hear the verdict.
Guilty!
Okay, I concede. You choose to pursue this matter even after I have demonstrated the futility. I'm sad to see irrationality take over. It's not even worth observing anymore.
Miss Jason, saying there is still a way someone could have played a gunshot on this TV?
Absolutely. We can't say for sure it wasn't possible.
Even though it can't record anything, and no video player was attached?
It's possible. There's still something that could have been used on the TV.
Wait, do you mean to say that you found a video player? That would change things.
How tiresome. If I really had found something like that, she would be delaying her argument. I'm gonna have to make this happen somehow. Consider the bigger picture. There may have been no video player, but that's the thing. Would anyone just keep a useless TV around? I hope not, for my sake.
I want something concrete, Miss Chase. What do you propose could have been used to nevertheless make a TV play gunshots?
Okay. I don't know. Maybe when you... It's a secret mechanism that makes play gunshot, who knows. Is there anything in the newspaper? With TV listings on the back. Oh, this would be the way, wouldn't it? Because why would this be mentioned if it's not relevant to TV? Please take a look at this.
Newspaper, Miss Chase. I thought we were talking about TVs. This is the wrong medium.
Goodness. My mobility silk umbrella may not be sufficient protection against these emissions of asininity. Asininity. I've never heard that word be used before. You misunderstand. There's something on the front page that shows what I'm talking about.
If you say so. In that case, please do show us. Which part on this page do you want us to take note of?
It's pretty simple if you remember something basic. What are TVs used for, first and foremost? It's to watch whatever is being broadcast on TV channels. Right, we're going to overrun a bit, but I really do want to get to the end of Act 2 because I don't want to have to play through this whole thing again. You can think of this as a way of making up for the lost time, since before the last video I hadn't recorded in a while. So this will be a bit of a longer one. There may be no video player, but that just makes it more likely it's going to regular cable TV. So what I'm trying to say is, we cannot fully rule out a gunshot until we check the TV schedule.
Shit, this is literal prime time entertainment. So someone tuned into a channel that had a sharp play right at that time? That what you're saying?
I mean, we have to check the schedule to be sure, right? We cannot truly expect anyone to accept this. It's the 4-year-old newspaper. There's no evidence of anything to be found here. Unless you can present today's schedule, this is beyond ridiculous speculation.
It does sound like a rather fantastical idea. What are the chances the gunshot was being broadcast at just the right time? Not seeing any evidence backing this up. I'm afraid it's too implausible.
Well, I don't really have a more recent schedule with me. But there's a lot of violence on TV, right? I'm sure the odds of gunshot happening on some channel are decent. You are certainly confident in something you just admitted to be ignorant about. Perhaps you should have taken your job with Monica more seriously. You'd be quite a third-rate journalist if you'd not even watched the news. Aquila non capit muscas. It's time to end this now so we move to more productive use of my time. Is old man gonna have the TV listings? Oh, she's gonna have the TV listings. You don't get to do that, Victoria. And Latin doesn't make you sound any smarter. I suppose it was only a matter of time before the second ignoramus would show up again. The fact that you're still happily siding with Aurelia makes your reasoning comparable to a little pet dog. That's so. And this little puppy is about to totally blow your mind. You ready? There's a negative probability of that happening. Awesome. That means your mind is already blown, right? Be quiet, make whatever asinine point you came here to make. Nah, I'm not here to make a point. I want to complain to Aurelia. Right now? And it was my favourite show because of you going to this place. It's called Reap What You Sow, a Wild West thriller. It was just getting to the good part. Helene Ace-verse was about to shoot it out with the dastardly diamond Crow Dalton. You old crow. What was the wording again? It was something like, serves you right, old crow. Yeah. You should give it a try. The lead actress, Titania Gresham, sounds almost exactly like you. Wait. You don't mean to say this thing was airing when... While you were doing something stupid in the study? It's a duplicitous invention. It can't be real. I've seen that show, it sucks. The bird masks of outlaws are iconic though. I knew the defendant's voice felt familiar. She sounds exactly like Helene.
Is this somehow significant to these proceedings?
Perfectly timed save. It's perfectly timed save, I think I was supposed to say, Lillian. If I ever called your TV habits a waste of time, I take it back. Your Honour, this Reap What You Sow matches all our criteria perfectly. It's set in the Wild West, so there's bound to be some gunshots. The fact that this actress supposedly sounds just like me is also pretty striking. This is pure hearsay. If you can't accept us as a source, there's a current newspaper issue in the manager's office. Too many things matching up for this to be a coincidence, don't you think? Someone whose voice has an uncanny resemblance to mine. A villain that also goes by the name Crow. This explains not only the gunshot problem, but also my so-called confession. Serves you right, old Crow. I submitted this was actually a line spoken by that actress on TV.
Do you have any response to this theory, plaintiff?
Yes, if the two Philistines put their minds together, they can barely produce a passing grade. There we go. At last, some light at the end of this tunnel. It's pathetically convenient, unsubstantiated concoction, naturally. But it would explain the first paradox you have to face if you want to believe in two gunshots. So, we shall proceed to the second paradox. You've got to be kidding me. I mentioned it in the very beginning that there were two paradoxes with your suggestion. Even if you hand-wave the first shot away, that does not make the second shot any more plausible. There's simply no reconciling the fact that nobody else heard this shot. Let me elucidate some simple realities to undermine this. First of all, the walls on this floor are not very soundproof. Also, there's no believable way of silencing this pistol. I'm just thinking of like my overall theory for what happened. Gunshot wound in the center of chest. Now, has the body been moved if they checked underneath it properly? Because if there's a bullet hole I can't remember what the floor looked like in that room. But hold on, let's look at the diagram. So there are 2 floors. The main hall is located on the upper floor. So there is a lower floor, right? No. Let's say our main guy goes to the display room, right? After they hear the first gunshot, which is fabricated on the TV. Underneath the study, there's someone waiting with a gun. Anyway, victim collapses like she's been shot when the fake shot on the TV plays, and Aurelia's like, wait, did I just shoot her? But then when she falls, she's like, her chest is facing the floor. So someone then shoots upwards and goes to her chest. The only thing about that would be, one, the bullet hole. Like, did they move the body to say, like, obviously they would have had to do an autopsy, right? But would they have not been able to find a gunshot? Who knows? Would they been able to cover it up somehow? And also, how would they, like, swap the guns? But that's my working theory so far. It would be difficult to believe even with a non-improvised suppressor. Naturally, since suppressors are made of metal, it would be impossible to smuggle past the guard in the first place. So how do you reconcile that only Mr. Polly remarked anything about the supposed second gunshot? Okay, it's fair enough that we can't skip past that part.
I presume we're going to join her for an explanation for this as well, Miss Chase.
You say when she died? That's a very broad time span. That's very much my intention. Forget about any full theories. Only focus on how the second shot might be possible. To answer why nobody heard the second shot, we need to talk about... We do need to talk about parallel universes. And I really want to talk about parallel universes. But I'm also conscious of my health, and I want to get through this quickly. The timing of the shot on Mr. Polly's position, because he's in a different room when he's hearing this shot. Mr. Polly's position. Recall my assertion that he was not really present at the scene. It's possible that he was in a unique spot where he and only he could have heard this gunshot. Do you not pay attention to anything I just laid out? Or you simply not able to follow? The rooms on this floor are not soundproof. There is no location. The rooms on this floor are not soundproof. There's no location he would have been in that would have made a difference. Well, you might assume that, but assumptions aren't always right. I might need a bit of a note on the box approach process this one. I temper might understand. Most intelligent suggestions into mind, please. Where do you suggest that Mr. Polly was when he heard the second gunshot? So Mr. Polly was in the display room. This spot, maybe? Thankfully, I have already reached enlightenment. If I had to rely on you, I'd be awaiting it for eternity. Any gunshot Mr. Polly might have heard in that location would have been audible for all of us.
I'm afraid I failed to see what would make that location special.
You did just point to a random point on the map, I hope. It's enough high hopes to be fair. Gunshot would have been heard everywhere on this floor, then what can I suggest? I want to say the second... Well, no. I'm not saying he was on the second floor. Although he could have gone in the elevator, actually. That's probably right. He's like going down the elevator. So first he puts his suitcase in the display room to hide it. I don't know why. Maybe he just doesn't want to drag it along with him. Then he goes to the elevator. And he goes down. Yeah. No? Where else on the map could he have been? Probably nowhere then. Oh. How about the timing of the shot? The timing of the second shot. That's the key here.
The timing, Miss Chase? How would that make a difference?
We really have no information on the timing except that it happened after the serves you right line. I propose that there was a specific point in time when nobody on this floor would have heard the shot. That's categorically unachievable. It's not as if all the guests fell unconscious simultaneously. Oh, I'm not suggesting everyone's ears stopped working or anything. There's no way anyone would have heard a gunshot while something was being done with this. The hunt devices? Do they make noise? It's incredibly irrelevant. Oh, jeez. The gunshot was timed exactly with the moment their heads hit their foreheads. That's all I missed it. Mr. Polly was the only one unable to see the flaws in my logic ended up hearing it.
Is anyone approach you with that theory, Miss Chase? Absolutely everyone will see the flaws in your logic here.
Fairly reconsider things. I think we're going to have to talk about parallel universes because I'm stumped and we're overrunning a bit. Parallel universes. Mr. Polly originally came from another universe. The second gunshot timeline. After hearing the shot, he somehow ended up jumping to our timeline. Quite enlightening. The thought of a timeline where I do not have to endure this absurdity is very appealing.
Please make sure this penalty is applied in every possible universe. Not enough!
Yeah, we're gonna have to end it here. I was hoping to get this done, but clearly my logic and the game's logic is not really meshing today. And I can't make saves. That's the problem with this. I can't make any more saves because the URL will be too big. So what I'm gonna have to do is do a new recording immediately, even if I, have to cut it short a bit for next time. I've overrun a bit this time, so I can cut it short next time. That's fine. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.